Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing my top 5 bronzers. So these are Drugstore and Highend bronzers that are just my favourite and my go-to. To be fair, I only have one Highend one in here out of the 5, so I think I did pretty good. But also I just wanted to say that these are just my favourite bronzers kind of that I've ever come across up to now. Obviously going to try more and more bronzers, but these are just the ones that I have personally only come across and that I've kept in my collection and I just love and I'm obsessed with, and I just wanted to share them with you guys. So if you are interested in seeing what my top 5 bronzers are, then be sure to give the video a thumbs up and just keep watching. Okay, so I'm not going to go in any particular order of like first favourite, second favourite. I'm just going to just tell you what all of my favourites are, if that makes sense. So I haven't got like a first favourite or least favourite out of the ones that I've got. So I thought I would do my top 5 bronzers around this kind of time of the year, because where I live in the UK it's kind of getting towards summertime now, so I thought bronzers would be the best kind of category to do next in my top 5 whatever series. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. So first bronzers that I want to talk about, I've got 2 different shades here, but they're obviously the same thing. I feel like these are no surprise to anyone that kind of watches YouTube or anyone that's kind of in the US or wherever you can get this brand. But these are by Physicians Formula and these are their butter bronzers. If you are someone that watches YouTube and you watch a lot of makeup tutorials or beauty YouTubers, then if you don't know what these are, then you're definitely living under a rock, because these have been around and kind of raved about on YouTube for so long. This is how I heard about Physicians Formula. Obviously I live in the UK, so you can't actually get Physicians Formula from any stores that I know of anyway in the UK. Definitely around where I live you can't get this brand in a shop. I usually get these online on Amazon, or I think QVC do them, I'm not 100% sure. I got mine off Amazon and I love the favourite affordable bronzers ever. I don't think any of the bronzers that I've tried have ever come close to this, drugstore / affordable wise. That's never ever seen these before, then I'll just tell you a bit about them. They smell like coconuts. They smell like just a tropical holiday, and they kind of have a nice little waved pattern on them. So they are called butter bronzers for good reason, because they are so creamy, so buttery, and when you blend them out they just blend out buttery. Like, that's the only way to explain kind of how they blend out, and it just looks really good on the skin. The 2 I have here, obviously they're the same bronzer, but I just have 2 different shades and I use them for different reasons. So my oldest one, which is pretty dead and the packaging is kind of cracked, but this is the light bronzer shade, and this one is obviously more suited for lighter skin tones as a bronzer. I like to use this to contour with, because it's just, it doesn't look like it, but it's got this kind of cool undertone to it kind of when you swatch it, and for me this is just a very good contour shade. So that's why I keep this one. I loved using this as a contour shade, and around the time that I got this was the only shade that was available for me to get, so I kind of used this for so long. Like, that's the other thing, like I have used this for probably almost 2 years now, I'd like to say, and it doesn't look like I've used any of it. These are literally just gonna last forever. If this was any other bronzer I definitely would have hit pan already by now, but I just haven't, and I think that's really good because they're definitely gonna last you so long. Then the other shade that I have is just the bronzer shade. It's not called deep or medium, but I would say that it's a medium toned bronzer. This is the main one that I use as an actual bronzer. It's the one I'm wearing right now, and I've got another bronzer on top that I'll show you after, but this is the main bronzer that I'm wearing today, and I just love it. It's the best kind of undertone I think for medium skin. I feel like if you have deeper skin tones, then this might not be a good bronzer for you. I feel like it might be too light. You might be able to contour with it, I'm not too sure, but yeah, I think that's probably the only bad thing that I would say about Physicians Formula, is that the shade ranges aren't the best. So if you have super deep skin, I think, don't like quote me on it because I'm not 100% sure, but I think like this is like the deepest shade that they go bronzer wise, which isn't great because they only have 2 shades and that's really bad. So again, if you're someone with really deep skin tone, this isn't going to be any good for you. But that aside, if you are lighter or my skin tone, then they work incredibly. Other tiny thing that I guess I don't like is probably just like the packaging. It's just like, it's a bit too bulky and I hate how flappy. Yeah, it's got a mirror in it, but who really uses this mirror? Like, let's be real, who uses this mirror? Come on. Okay, the next one, I'm just going to get this out of the way because this is my all-time favourite bronzer, and I feel like if you've been watching me for a few months, then you'll know which one this is. Like I said, I only have one high-end bronzer. out of all of the ones that I've got to talk about, and this is that. This is the Elcie Cosmetics bronzer, and it's in the shade medium. It's all scratched off because I've just used it so much. It's got scratched off, okay? It's just the most perfect shade for me to contour and bronze with. That's why I love it so much. It is definitely the softest and most creamy bronzer I own. It's softer than the Physicians Formula ones. Like, that's saying a lot considering how creamy and buttery they are, but this is softer, and I feel like this blends a hair better than that one does. I don't know, I just prefer this. It's just, I don't know what it is. There's just something, I guess it's just kind of when you touch it, it's just so creamy. It's really, really, really creamy. Perfect shade for me. Yes, these are pricey. They're Elcie. I think this is around £24, but to me it's worth it. I love it so much. I love that the packaging is that kind of magnetic close, and it's obviously it's got a mirror in there, and it just, I love the packaging because it's just sleek and it's not, you know, flapping around like this guy. But the actual product, it's amazing. Like I said, it just blends so nicely. It's the perfect shade for me to bronze and contour with. Do a deeper shade. I think they either do 2 more darker shades or just 1. No, it's not, again, it's not the biggest shade range, but I got mine off Beauty Bay. That's where you can get Elcie in the UK, or at least you can get some of the Elcie products in the UK. Obviously it doesn't look like I've used a lot of products in this one when I've gone in so much, and I've used this for, like I said, almost 2 years. This one you can definitely tell that like it makes a mark when you put your brush in there, so I don't think it's gonna last as long as that one because I've almost hit pan on this. Yes, I do use it pretty much all the time because I just love it. Like I said, it's my favourite bronzer, but I'm just gonna be honest and just tell you I don't think it will last as long as, say, the Physicians Formula ones, because like I said, it does make a kind of mark when you put your brush in there. But that aside, that is my favourite bronzer in the world that I've come across so far. So the last three I got, again, like I said, they're all drugstore / affordable. So the next one is actually one that's actually quite new. Quite surprised when I looked in my collection and I was like, yeah, that's just one of my faves, because this has literally just come out in the past few weeks to the UK anyway. But this one is by Morphe and it's their Brontour, and I think I chose this to put in my top 5 because you get both in one, and the price is incredible and the quality is amazing. So you get a bronzer shade and a contour shade. For me, that's the contour, that's the bronzer. I personally just mix them both together and I apply it like that, and I just kind of get best of both worlds when I blend them. I have tried using this one just as a contour and then this one just over top lightly as a bronzer. Still works perfectly fine, but my favourite way is to just mix my brush in there and just get both of them. So yeah, I'm obsessed with this. I just think that they're amazing, especially for the price. I guess I'm just really impressed because Morphe, obviously they're quite famous for their eyeshadow palettes and just how amazing the quality of the eyeshadow palettes are, and I feel like they haven't really missed with eyeshadow palette. So when I saw that they were releasing these kind of bronzers and also the blush trios as well, I'm really surprised that these just literally work as well as the eyeshadow palettes. I think I actually prefer the face products more, but that's just me because I'm more of a face girl than like an eyeshadow girl, so I don't know, I just love these so much. I also really like the blush trios, but these are really, really good. They're definitely worth buying if you are someone that's looking for a really good bronzer and contour. Like I said, best of both worlds. The shade that I use is Celebutante. They have tons of different shades, so I feel like you're definitely going to get one to suit your skin tone because, like I said, they have 2 different shades in each little palette as well. And I'm pretty sure these were like £12, so that is so good for what you get, and the quality again is amazing. This one is a bronzer that I remember being in my favourites, and it was like my favourite bronzer before I came across the Elcie one, but this is by Number 7 and it's just their bronzer, and it's in the shade Caramel. This is one that I have. They have a few different shades and this is what it looks like. It just looks really cute. I love the packaging, I love the kind of mirrored effect. I guess the only thing I don't like about mirrored stuff is that fingerprints, you can just see fingerprint marks on them, but that aside, the actual bronzer, amazing. I think it's a really, really nice tone, especially for me. It's just really, really buttery, really, really creamy, and that's the main thing that I love about this, is that it blends out so easily. You don't have to put any effort in when you blend it out. It will just blend out for you pretty much. And I just really liked this undertone. It was really, really nice when I was a tiny bit lighter, like I said. But it still worked as like a contour as well. If you use like a certain brush, then because of the undertone, I feel like you can contour with this shade, obviously if you're my skin tone. But then it is a really nice bronzer as well. I loved using this kind of around the perimeters of my forehead, and it's just really nice. I cannot remember how much this bronzer was, but obviously it's number 7. They are sold at Boots in the UK, which is a drugstore if you're in another country and you don't know what Boots is, so it's not going to be too expensive, I don't think. I think number 7 is kind of the same price range as Physicians Formula, because they're both still sold at drugstores, but they're not the most affordable, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't compare number 7 to like Rimmel or Collection or Maybelline even. They're a bit more pricey, but still, they're still drugstore and they're still really good. So again, if you're looking for a good bronzer, this one is also a very nice one. They have a few different shades, like I said, and it's just a really nice holiday summer bronzer. Then the final bronzer that I have to share with you is one of my all-time favorites, and this is my favorite kind of bronzer with a sheen. It's by Milani and it's their Baked bronzer. This one is my favorite one and it's in the shade Solei. This is just the best shade for me. I am using this on top of the Physicians Formula one, so I've got no highlight on today, so the glow that you see there is this bronzer kind of layered on top, because obviously, like I said, I'm not wearing any highlight, so that glow is just the sheen from this bronzer. Chunky glitter, it's not glitter at all. It kind of looks, but it doesn't really look like it either. It doesn't look like it's got a sheen when you look at the actual products, but when you kind of tilt it at an angle like there, you can see it's got a really nice sheen. But that's what I love the most, is that there's no glitter in it. It's just a really nice sheen, like you can just see it on my skin right there, and these last really long on the skin. I love these Milani bronzers. They've been my one of my favorites for so long. I love Milani as a brand. I think they're amazing. They come out with amazing products, so this is definitely a really good bronzer. And I feel like another bronzer that people compare these to are the Hourglass ones, and I think I've talked about this before on my channel, but I've said that I used to have an Hourglass bronzer and I got rid of it straight away because I just wasn't a fan. They are glittery to me. They don't leave a sheen on the skin. Well, at least the bronzer that I had didn't leave a sheen. It was just pure glitter and I was just not a fan of it. So people compare these to them. I don't, because this is a really good sheen that it leaves on the skin. Those Hourglass ones were just pure glitter for me, and they're like £40 per bronzer, which I think is ridiculous. So I'd go for the Milani one. It's a fraction of the price compared to the Hourglass ones, and to me they are so much more better, and you're just getting better out of your money. You're saving a lot of money, and to me you're also getting just a much better products, in my opinion. That is pretty much it. That's all my bronzers done. Again, I don't know if I said this at the start of my video, I might not have said, but these are just bronzers that personally work for me. They might not work for everyone, especially skin tone wise. These are suited for my skin tone, but I have obviously talked about different shade ranges and what I think of them. So yeah, these are just the ones that suit my personal skin tone. And that is the end of the video, guys, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, then be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and also leave me a comment down below letting me know what your favourite bronzer is, to know what your favourite is, and I may want to try it as well. So as always, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, and also make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss a video from me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!